Hurry up, Winnie, we're recording. Where you been, girl? Where you been? Your audience awaits. Hi, kids. Welcome back to another pizza party. I'm Mrs. Pizza. This beautiful baby seal is Weenie. Hello, Weenie. No, I don't want licks, but thank you. And back there, somewhere, that is the cheese. I know, I should be petting you, but instead, talking to a camera. Tragedy. Look at her sad face. So sad. We are here today to do a recent reads. Once again, there's dog hair on my lip. It's just my life. Why are we here to talk about recent reads? Well, I hope because you like books. I mean, that would be weird if you didn't. If you're hate watching this, there's other stuff out there. Go hate that. We don't hate books. I like to do this when it is a little bit shorter. I'm very, 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 very far behind on these. Without further ado, because we all know I like to do a good dilly-dally. And I like to get sidetracked. So let's try our best not to get sidetracked. Let's talk about some books. The first book we're going to talk about is The Silent Companions. This is a book I was seeing everywhere for people that like a little bit of gothic, and I'm one of those people. I like a little bit of gothic, and this is a little bit of gothic. This is the story of Elsie, and she is a newly widowed pregnant woman who is traveling to a distant estate, which was the place of her recent husband's death. It is a very old house surrounded by a small town full of very suspicious people. They all claim that the house is haunted or cursed, and Elsie is here, pregnant as hell, when she finds a locked room in the attic. When it is open, she finds something called a silent companion, a lifelike wood cutout of a person, just like a painting of a person. In my mind, it looks like one of those like cutouts you can get of celebrities. But these are creepy. This house is creepy. Creepy things start happening. This was really good. I liked it. The ending of this felt like something that would play in slow motion. All of a sudden, the theme song of the movie would start playing and you get goosebumps and you're like, oh my gosh. It's twisty, it's turny, it's a little bit supernaturally. The thought of these silent companions within itself is very creepy. But I liked this. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked this. And there is not a sequel, but another book that takes place in this same world that has been recently published that I haven't gotten to yet. But The Silent Companions, if you're looking for gothic, creepy, picture painting people, definitely worth your time. After that, I read an incredibly large amount, a troublingly large amount of paranormal romances from a paranormal romance series in like about 48 hours. But I just read all of them. I have a whole video talking about it if you would like to know my thoughts and feelings on all of the short stories available in this collection. I am just going to talk about the one I liked the most because this is my video and I do what I want. The one I want to talk about is Hot for Slayer by Hazelwood. It is no surprise if you've watched any of my videos, you know I am a fan of Hazelwood short romantic stories. They are short and they are good and she is good at her job, and I hope that she always finds her car keys exactly where she's looking for them. You know what I mean? I hope that she is having a great day wherever she is, because damn it, she makes some good short romances. This is the story of Ethel, and she is a vampire, and she has been living for centuries, and she is constantly being chased by a vampire slayer. So in this world, vampire slayers, like similar to witchers, go through some sort of horrible process in order to gain immortality and the ability to slay vampires. She has this hot, broody man who's been trying to kill her for forever, and they've had several run-ins over the centuries. When Ethel and Slayer Guy are in an altercation and then a third party enters the fight. This is a battle between the three of them when, oops, Hot Slayer Man gets knocked on the noggin and suddenly he has the amnesia. And now Ethel has Hot Slayer Man with no memories that he's trying to kill her all the time. And she's like, what am I supposed to do with this man? Because Ethel is not this like bloodthirsty, awful vampire. She's this funny character. She'll make you laugh, but she's also incredibly charming and incredibly charmed by everyday life. She finds beauty in the simplicity of eternity. She's a lovely, funny person who just happens to be a vampire, and she's trying to do it in the least awful way possible. So she now has a slayer with no memories that she's just got to deal with. This was silly and short and spicy and cute, and I loved it. Like, I freaking loved it. Allie Hazelwood is good at her job, and Hot for Slayer is definitely, if you're looking for something just like short and romancy to get you out of a slump, to add a book to your reading goal, to just kick off your year, Hot for Slayer. I definitely enjoyed it. All right, we had technical difficulties. That was quite a long time for me, mere moments for you. Let's continue. The next book I picked up after that was Come Closer. This is a book that when you do a Google, when you do a TikTok search for demonic possession books, this is one of the ones that pops up the most often. I got this one through the library. This is the story of Amanda. She is married and successful and just living her life when one day she starts experiencing some weird things. And slowly but surely, she starts to believe that there might be something paranormal and creepy going on. We just watch this character slowly deteriorate as time goes on and not be able to help herself out of the circumstances that she's in. The thing that wants her is powerful and sneaky and knows how to get what it wants. This was fine. I enjoyed it just fine. I think that it was definitely an interesting take on demonic possession as we are with the character from the beginning and seeing how this demonic possession progresses and watching this character make choices along the way. Most of them the exact choice you would make if you were in that situation, trying to rationalize what's going on, trying to be proactive about some of these things that are happening, but just the inevitable, the inevitable taking over. This was fine. This was absolutely fine. It's something, if you're interested, pick it up. If you're not, you're not missing much, is how I would put it. It's another demonic possession book that I read. The next book I picked up after that was Taurus Season. This is the most recent series from Brynne Weaver, who brought us the Ruinous Love trilogy, which starts with Butcher and Blackbird and goes on with other books. Those are dark rom-coms about serial killers. I really enjoyed, Butcher and Blackbird was definitely my favorite, but I enjoyed the series as a whole because I like my dark romances to not have dark things happening between the main character, but instead have dark things happening around them, but the relationship itself to be as healthy as it can be between serial killers. This was something I was really excited about because this is this author doing what she does best. She's creating a new series involving serial killers. This is the story of Harper, and she lives in a small town called Cape Carnage. It's kind of like a silly tourist trap town that it would be very popular on Halloween. Harper loves this town. She loves all the people in it. She has a very close relationship with some of the other residents of the town when a tourist named Nolan, who's there for very specific reasons, shows up looking for Harper. There is a mystery element to this. Harper and Nolan get kind of stuck working together when a true crime podcaster shows up in town and would be able to shine a light on some of their past deeds that they don't want brought out into the open. This is silly and dark. There's murders and laughs and romance. This is a little bit different than the Ruinous Love trilogy, and that instead of this being a series of standalones that are interconnected, this is a series where we end on a cliffhanger and the next book will continue with the same couple. So be prepared for a cliffhanger ending. The next book is not out yet, but I'm excited to get to it, and it needs to get here so I can find out what happens to Harper and Nolan. The next book I picked up after that was Audition for the Fox, and this one was a complete surprise. I really, really liked it. It's very, very short and something I absolutely picked up because I enjoyed the cover. And I'm not ashamed to say it. This is the story of Nessie, and she lives in a fantasy world where anyone who is born with divine lineage has to spend their life in a temple unless they pledge themselves to service of a god. See, in this world, the gods have procreated with the humans, and so there are many people who can claim lineage to the 100 gods that exist in this world. Nessie is a descendant of a god, and so now she is at the temple and trying to get her way out by pledging service to a god. Unfortunately, she has done 96 auditions to be a servant of the gods, and 96 times the gods have rejected her. So she is running out of options before she is stuck in this temple forever. In a moment of honestly desperation, she decides to audition to be a servant to the fox. The fox is a trickster god and not someone that is often picked to audition for. In her audition, it goes a certain way, and Nessie ends up on a great adventure, dealing with the fox god and different historical moments. We make friends, we learn lessons. Even though we only get a snippet of this fantasy world, it felt incredibly fleshed out. I really, really loved this. It's really fast if you're at all interested, and I'm excited to see what this author does with these characters in the future, because we have 100 gods we can play with. Or we could just hang out with Nessie and the fox again, and I would totally be okay with that. This was really, really good and has a fantastic cover, and if you're at all interested, I highly recommend. It's such an easy read to get through and a fun short fantasy. Kind of standalone? Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully we get more. The next book I picked up after that was The Fall of the House of Usher. That's right, everyone. I read The Fall of the House of Usher, which I have read countless reimaginings and retellings of the story without having read the source material. So I remedied that. I read Mr. Edgar Allan Poe's story of the fall of the House of Usher. Having read so many retellings and reimaginings, I knew what was going to happen. I knew what we were in for. This is what I'm going to call a classic piece of literature about a character who travels to the secluded estate of the Ushers, where his friend, who is an usher, and his sister are deteriorating, and then like creepy stuff happens, and it's very dark and mysterious. That's all you really need to know. It's dark and mysterious and macabre, and has been used to create countless stories and inspire many a horror and thriller author since. It's very atmospheric and very, very fast to get through. And I read it. I read The Fall of the House of Usher. If you like gothic stuff, gothic as The next book I picked up after that, I am just such a weird, moody mood reader, was Love versus the Scarecrow. This is by Cassandra Gannon, who I am a fan of, and a lot of her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. She does a silly, silly, fun, good time, and I am here for it. This is what was touted as like a horror romance, and I would definitely say this fits the bill if you're looking for something that's a romance that has more of a horror element to it. This is a book that is in a series by this author, all taking place within the same small town area, but each book takes place in a very different time period. This book is following Lori. She lives in this very, very small town. It's kind of not doing well. And Lori has recently broken up with her boyfriend because he cheated on her with her cousin because he's gross. And then they had a baby. Anyways, her cousin just got married to her cheating ex-boyfriend. Lori is just kind of stuck in this small town full of all these small-minded people. Her best friend left some time ago, and the one person she has left is Dash. And Dash is a member of he's an adopted member, or I guess he's like the stepson of a member of the like most affluent family in town, the wealthiest and the most prosperous family in town. But Dash is kind of seen as a little bit of a dummy. He's moved away and come back somewhat recently, and he just kind of follows Lori around like a puppy. Everybody sees him as kind of an airhead, but Lori always has found him very endearing, and she's always been there for Dash. Well, one night at a great big field party on Dash's family's property, a young woman goes missing. Lori witnesses the strange occurrences leading up to this woman's disappearance. And then Lori and Dash are involved in this mystery to find out what is going on his family's farm. I liked this. It's kind of slashery. There's cornfields. It was fun. It was fine. I liked Lori and Dash. I liked Dash's character a lot because you think you're getting one thing and then you start to realize there's so much more to him than he's portraying. Lori is funny and smart, and these two are trying to solve a mystery surrounded by corn. It felt very like fun slasher horror movie, but also the main focus is just a love story. I like Cassandra Gannon books. I think they're funny and fun and silly. The fact that she made this one a slasher, worked for me. And the last book we're going to talk about is Strange Pictures. I picked this book up after reading this author's book called Strange Houses, which I really enjoyed. And so I went back and read their other book, Strange Pictures. This is the kind of book that you can get through pretty quick because it has a lot of illustrations, and that's kind of the medium that this book is using to tell its story. You're going to be seeing a lot of pictures, but a lot of pictures that you have to spend a lot of time looking at to try and unravel the mystery. I said this about the first book I read from this author, and I'll say it about this book too. The mystery is just fine. It's the medium and kind of how the story is told that makes it interesting. The mystery itself was honestly not something that I really think you could have figured out on your own. It's something that it's leading you down the path, and you just have to go along with whatever these stories telling you to take out of these images. I don't think it's a mystery that you could actually solve with collecting all the clues and looking at them without the book telling you what's going on. It's interesting, it's fun. I think I'll keep picking up things from this author. I like the way they tell stories, not necessarily the actual story. It's not reinventing the wheel. The story itself is fine. It's how it's told, how this author tells the story that's interesting. It's a multi-year, multi-generational story told through a different sequence of pictures that are all somehow interconnected, but you don't know how. And the story takes you down the path looking at all of these different kinds of pictures to try and solve this mystery. That's all you really need to know. But that, kids, is where we are going to end this recent reads. Eventually, we will be caught up on these. Maybe, I don't know, I keep reading, so we'll probably always be behind. But if you had fun hanging out with me and the dogs, please subscribe. I hope you're reading good books out there, wherever you are, and I'd love to hear about them. And we'll see you next time.